Hi guys, welcome to Public Talks with Renee and myself,
Hi.
Isaiah. It's been a cool couple of sessions that we've already had, and if you've been with us for the last couple, we start off with the What Would You Rather, and Renee's been doing them to me, but today I get to do it to Renee.
I'm nervous.
I'd like to ask this question.
Oh no.
Renee, what would you rather? A dirty car or a dirty house?
Oh, dirty car.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, dirty car.
car.
Because you know what? I can get out my car, pretend
You
it's
have to
just,
live in your
but I
house?
have to live in my house.
Yeah, I get it.
I would rather not have a dirty anything. I've got like essential oils burning in my house right now.
Thieves.
24/7 thieves.
Thieves.
Because it's antibacterial and antiviral. That's
Yes.
how I'm beating Corona right now.
Renee has like the diffusers and the thieves. What is the blend? It's got cloves.
Yeah,
What else does it
What
have?
has it got? Eucalyptus, I think some lemon, cinnamon.
Yeah. When you
That's
breathe it in, it's literally like it's like killing anything that you could have, but in a natural way. It's not
I know,
offensive.
people think I'm like, oh, she's into essential oils. Do you know that's biblical? I've got a whole book on
Myrrh.
essential oils of the Bible. Yes,
Ah,
heaps.
of course. I didn't even think
Olive
about it.
oil, myrrh, cinnamon, all of them are in the Bible. We're going to talk
We
about
should
this.
do an
We're
essential
gonna do a
oils
session.
talk.
We're going to do a talk. Okay, let's get
Let's
cracker-shalacking
do
on
it.
today.
Let's do it.
We've had a great couple of sessions talking about, what could be kind of like a, down topic of rejection, but it's so important
So
because
important.
so many people are walking around with the root of rejection, and it doesn't have to be anything major
No.
that's happened to you. Like we were saying, it can just be the little things. So we've talked about the importance of identifying it.
Yes.
And we've talked about the different behaviours and the causes. And today I want to talk about how God brings us to healing a little bit and a little bit and a little bit at a time. And I
Yes.
remember someone explaining it to me like, it's like peeling off an onion
Yeah.
layer, that God will, He won't do it all at once. And sometimes He does. Yes, we could go to the altar call and He could heal us like that,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
But when we have to walk things out day by day, moment by moment, it makes us stronger on the inside. And so someone explained it like peeling off an onion layer. And another way that I've had it explained to me, and I think this is a Joyce Meyer one, where she talks about, when a plant is little, plant,
Plant or
plant,
Well, what do you say? Plant or plant?
plant,
I say plant.
plant. When a plant is little, like you might put a stake next to it just to hold it and secure it. But as the plant grows and it becomes a tree, it doesn't need that stake anymore. And what happens is God wants us to grow. Well, we obviously start seed, little plant, but God wants us to grow to maturity. We talked about that on
Yes.
day one, trees of righteousness. And it would look awfully funny if He still allowed these little stakes. And we think we need these little things in our lives. Can you maybe identify perhaps an example of what might be a little stake or a little prop and why God would then take that away? Because obviously
Totally.
we think we need it and we
Totally.
don't.
I think in this current generation and climate, I would say Instagram would be a big
Ooh,
one.
yeah.
Especially anybody who's struggling with self-image. Remember, we talked about like a root of rejection doesn't have to be something as major as like a major thing in your life. It could be anything, like being like kicked out of your group at school or not feeling invited to a university
Yeah.
gathering, whatever it is. But I feel like social media is a massive stake, and it's like
Right.
as God starts to do things in our heart and our life and showing us who we are, like we're trees of righteousness, the facade of trying to post that
Yes.
I love myself, life's great, and really like you're not laughing and you're not happy and you're not hashtag goals.
Or relying on the encouragement back.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, because it's two-way street, isn't it? Because then it's like, I remember back in the day, my sister's going to hate me for saying this, but I remember back in the day,
Sorry,
if likes weren't coming through, this is when they were teenagers, if likes weren't coming through hot, it was like, I'll delete the post.
Yes.
And I think we've all thought that, is my post getting engagement?
Yeah.
Are people listening? And so I
Yeah.
feel like that's one of the major ones, like a prop that God would remove, that we wouldn't
Yeah.
rely on
Yeah.
social media, but we
Yeah.
would rely on God and what He says about us.
And God will allow, like I know I went through a time when I was a little bit younger where I relied on certain friendships.
Yeah, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, just different circumstances, those people just weren't around as much or I wasn't as connected. And I remember being gutted
Yeah.
and devastated and feeling like, well, something's wrong with me. And then I remember feeling God speak to me and say, I am allowing this to happen because you're relying on those friendships to make yourself feel good about yourself and your life.
Yeah,
And so
okay.
God allowed those things to be, he will allow things to be taken away
It's
because he
true.
doesn't want us to be this mature, beautiful tree thinking we need to hold on to these things in our life.
That's
and
the
so
best
he takes
analogy,
them away.
what you've said. Like, imagine a tree so big, clearly able to stand on its own, and this thing that used to be there to support and help guide is no longer needed.
don't need it.
Yeah, that's great.
So if you feel like there's something in your life right now that you're not getting, affirmation or a certain friendship or, affirmation on social media or whatever it might be, then maybe, maybe you're even feeling a bit lonely right now.
Yeah.
I mean, how many props have been taken away from us right now?
Oh, yeah. Big
Like
time.
our lives
Oh,
are literally changed right now.
Yeah.
And we cannot rely on those things. And
No.
there's a good side to this because we're having to rely on God and
100%.
not those things.
100%.
Excellent.
Awesome.
We'll see you guys next session.
See ya.
Bye.